What's up, everybody? Kyle here, as always, and we're doing something new today. Something I want to start doing somewhat regularly, and that's building with a budget and without a sideboard. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try and throw together some budget brews and do some series, make a new little video format out of it, and try and put up a good amount of them, as many as I can at least. Um, Format I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the deck together, whether I see it online or I build it myself. I'll let you know either way. This deck particularly, I did see the build online. I changed some things about it. I don't remember what. It was about a week or two now ago. But find it, do a deck tech on it, and then run it through. I think what I want to do is run it through 2 tournament practices and then 2 standard 2-mans. Or maybe 3 tournament practices and 1 standard 2-man. I still haven't really decided what I'm going to do with that. It depends on how long each takes and how much time I'm spending on it and how much fun I'm having with the deck. If I really like a deck, maybe I'll run it through 3 or 4 2-mans and maybe an 8-man. So this deck here is Selesnya Enchantments, and it's pretty good. I've run through a couple games with it, and it's fun. It's quick sometimes. It's a little weak to very powerful decks, but if you can beat them to the punch, then you can usually wreck face. Now, one thing I did notice in my last couple games that is kind of unfortunate is a lot of the time you have a Soldier of the Pantheon turn 1, and you have one of these 2 cards sitting in your hand. These cards do not play well together. In fact, they don't play at all. It's one of the huge downfalls of this current version of the build, and I'm trying to think of something to replace Soldier with, but I can't think of what. Boros Elite isn't really what I want to be doing because the usually after turn 1, usually after turn 2, I'm spending my mana on enchantments and tapping out, so I'm not slamming down 1-drops and 2-drops the entire time. But anyways, this is what the deck does. It's got 4 Ethereal Armor, 4 Dryad Militant, 4 Soldier of the Pantheon, 4 Wasteland Viper. Wasteland Viper has been very interesting because people never see it coming, and even without the Blood Rush, it serves as a type of removal spell in its own right, but even not using it for the Blood Rush, turn 1 Wasteland Viper, turn 2 Ethereal Armor gives you a 2/3 first striking Death Toucher that only gets bigger if they don't have a way to deal with it. So it's very interesting. As you can hear, I'm a little sick. I've been sick for about a week now. That's why I've tried to record a couple drafts, but just wasn't feeling it. It's very nasally, and I'll try not to sniffle too much in this video set. But I do still have a bit of a sinus thing, runny nose, whatever. But I didn't even have a voice last week, so. Anyways, yeah, it's got the 4 Wasteland Viper, 4 Selesnya Charm. Gives a little bit of reach. Late game removal for sure for power over 5, right? Is it power over 5 or toughness over 5? Power over 5. Yeah, so that takes care of any big threats that we don't really have removal for. The +2/+2 is relevant for removal, and sometimes you just go turn 2 Selesnya Charm, turn 3 throw some enchantments on it. Brush Strider I also want to do something with, want to find something to replace it with, but the Vigilance, and it's got a big power, so if you can hook it up with an Ethereal Armor or like even Unflinching Courage, the Vigilance does matter, but 1 toughness makes it so weak. Even with an Unflinching Courage on it, it still dies to Lightning Strike, so it's rough. Fencing Ace because double strike. Precinct Captain because the first strike is relevant and the tokens are relevant. And then the rest of the enchantment suite, which is Unflinching Courage and Gift. I thought about adjusting this to turn it into a Sphere of Safety deck, but it'd need a lot of adjustment at that point because right now it's very aggro. To turn it into a Sphere deck would just change the whole construct of the entire thing. It would take a lot of work. Maybe in the future though. Anyways, yeah, so this is the deck. So I'm going to jump into a tournament practice match. As you can see, I have no sideboard. I haven't thought of one yet. I mean, I guess it could run a couple Natural Eyes, a couple Pithing Needles, a couple Glare of Heresy, a couple of Renounce the Guilds, but aside from that, I'm not really sure. Um, it doesn't run any shocks because this is a budget build. The most expensive cards in here are the Soldiers, which are like a ticket apiece, and the Precinct Captains, which are also like a ticket apiece. So you can get the whole deck for like under 15 tickets, I think. Unflinching Courage might be like half a ticket. Um, but everything else is literally like Ethereal Armor's nothing, Breast Strider's nothing, Fencing Ace, Wasteland Viper, nothing at all. So, um, anyways, we're gonna jump into a tournament practice match and do a couple of them, and then jump into some two-mans and see how it goes. So we'll see you for the first match.